You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com. You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Network. Learn more at wearelibertarians.com.
Welcome to the Boss Hog of Liberty podcast. This is episode number 374 of the Same Show's favorite podcast. Jeremiah Morrell, executive video producer, audio engineer, Zach Burcham, who's scheduled to have a fully functional plumbing system at his home starting next week.
Can't wait. Merry Christmas.
No longer has to shit in a bucket. It's going to be a great Christmas for the Burcham family. And my co-host today, Mark Fultz.
Thanks for having me.
I just wanted to see if I could break him.
I just want to do laundry and take a shower at the same time and not have to worry about hearing anything.
Not afraid.
Gurgle.
Doesn't want trauma. Doesn't want traumas. Today we are going to have another potpourri episode of the show. Maybe it was a slow news week. The top story of the week is a cat was rescued out of a tree. I'm not kidding. We got some sports news.
It was the biggest story of Henry County by far.
It was. We'll get into it, but it was the talk of the town, folks. National news, quiet week. They're just going to shut the government down tomorrow. Don't know if Zach has a job. Sports, all kinds of stuff going on in sports. And as we traditionally do, we're going to talk about some Christmas stuff. That's the plan. We have all rights and hopes of deviating from it because this show is about our lives in rural Indiana. We're here to push your boundaries and make you think as individuals. Sometimes we'll provoke you, other times we'll make you laugh, but hopefully you'll always learn something new, like what the cat rescue procedure is in Knightstown, Indiana. If you are a patron of this show, first of all, thank you very much. It's nice and comfortable in here. The power is on, which is better than 1,000 of the customers of the 4-letter power company in the city that has scheduled maintenance from 6 to 10 tonight in December before Christmas. as homes are baking Christmas cookies and
it is that
cakes.
it's that time of year where people are like getting together and like knocking out their baking,
having holiday parties. Boris Plank isn't here because they were having a holiday party. I hope they weren't interrupted by a 4-letter power company. Neighbor Brian Nichols, co-host or co-building unit is they're out downtown at their home, so they're hanging out in the next room next door eating their Chinese food because the oven would work because no power. Scheduled maintenance, folks. Anyway,
it's not too cool by the time they get back to their house.
Anyway, we thank our patrons very much. John Phillips, Andy Moore, Buick GMC for all of your new and used vehicle needs. Give John a call. Blake Reese over at Varsity Outfitters in Newcastle on South Memorial Drive. They've got regular office hours now. I need to get with them, get some more swag printed up. I've been doing the Amazon shopping and finding myself some of those middle-aged white dude vests to wear for my sales job in the wintertime. Because the polo shirt's just a little too cold. So I gotta get the company logo put on some stuff, and he's gonna hook me up with that. Pops Recycle over in Rushville. If you need your vintage Schwinn, looking for that last minute Christmas gift, check his page out on Facebook or the storefront down in Rushville. And our newest patron at the $50 or more a month club, hanging out over at Walnut Ridge RV is Mr. Thomas Oakes, the only salesman you need for an RV. He has been sharing the hell out of floor plans and some inventory. Today he had like a pop-up that's very similar to my brother's he shared that was like $4,500 that would get you into a pop-up with a slide and get you camping in the spring. So you can camp on damn near any budget.
Yep.
Any budget.
It's in like spring's right around the corner. It really like we're almost to the end of the year. We've got like 2 weeks. If
you haven't figured out where you want to go for the 4th of July, you better be making your camping reservations now. It's time.
Yeah.
Memorial Day, every spot in the state park system is gone by now. Your only hope is a cancellation, and Memorial Day is in the rearview mirror, and you better know what you're doing for 4th of July. Yeah, summertime is right here. The days are getting longer. we're there, Mark.
Are they actually getting longer yet?
The evenings are. So
and unlike Christmas, which is unfortunately scheduled this year on a Wednesday, 4th of July next year, Friday. Starts the weekend. So
that's a much better plan.
That is
it's going to rain
an excellent plan. That is, yes. 4th of July is a 3-day weekend in 2025.
A natural 3-day weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. There's going to be people are going to lose 3, 4, 5 fingers on that one because there's going to be no reason not to start drinking at 9 a.m.
Who's that NFL player?
I did. I almost lost. Check out Patreon to hear my finger losing story. Good plug. Thomas Oak says, yes, it's well loved too. It's been loved by the first family and it's going to be loved by the next family too. All right. So Zach, have you been following this story in Knightstown? It was the ultimate small town news story.
It was hard not to follow because it literally was like
feral cat in a tree.
So like on the national level, the government's got something going on, or there's like a tragedy or something like that. They'll have like the continuously updated story. The Career Times had a continuously updated story.
The proverbial Krylon is about the cat.
And what they even named the cat was like short legs or something like that. That was stuck up in a tree apparently since like Friday.
It was up there for like 6 days.
Friday
total.
the 13th.
Yeah.
I was reading the article earlier, reading the notes. I was like, that's pretty ironic.
And it ended exactly how I thought it would probably end, which is relatively happy. They go after it with a bucket truck. And what's it do? It jumps into another tree and climbs down and leaves.
Got out itself.
Got down all by itself.
Well, the first story I heard is that somebody tried to bring a bucket truck in, and it was the truck could not get to it. Yeah. So the first bucket truck couldn't get there. And then I heard they were going to have some professional tree climbers come in.
Yeah.
And then ultimately you said that it just escaped.
I think I heard, those guys tried it just kept going higher. And then I forget what happened. I think it was another bucket truck, like a tree service might have come. And then that's when they scared it and it just jumped into a nearby pine tree and then climbed down that and then left. So
nobody adopted it. They had a GoFundMe for vet bills lined up. It was going to go to a clinic to get IVs, to get rehydrated.
I hope it found like not a mirror because it's a homeless cat or whatever, but it found like some reflective surface and looked at it and said, "You idiot! You just spent nearly a week in a tree and you got down on your own in like 15 seconds."
Just have to. Sometimes it's just there's a life lesson there about motivation. And facing your fears.
I was reading part of the article and it's like because just the way the like cat's claws are designed, it's so easy to get
a certain way.
Yeah, but it's like if they turn around, like you can't go down easily. Unless you like scoot down backward, which does make sense. But then I was also reading further into the article that like, I think it's up to 48 hours. Cats' organs can begin to shut down.
Yeah, from not eating and drinking.
I'm like, that's hilarious. 2 days. No wonder your cat is always just like pissed off and wants you to fill the bowl.
Is ready to die at any moment.
Yeah. My mom had a cat that would like literally eat till you could see the bottom of the bowl. The food's still in the bowl, but there was a dry spot in the middle of the bowl and would like stop and look at her like, hey, top it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how the cat was always at
I saw a funny meme that said if you don't like waking up to alarms, just get a pet and feed it at a certain time that you need to get something done, and that pet becomes your alarm clock.
Works out.
My dogs are the same way.
Yeah.
And daylight saving time is the worst because you cannot
they don't
negotiate
understand.
with them.
Yeah. You try to explain to a kid. Yeah. Try to explain to a dog.
They refuse to accept the logic
because it doesn't make my favorite saying. It's like a meme is a picture of a Native American and it says only the white man would think that you can cut 6 inches off a blanket, stitch it on the other end of the blanket, and think that you made more blanket. It's like, yeah.
Future President Trump wants to get rid of daylight saving time. The question is, because first of all, when he comes up with a policy position, we all know how well thought out it is, and it's a tweet. And I'm all for picking one time and sticking with it as long as it's fast time. If we go to the old time that we were on in Indiana, slow time, the time that's miserable that we're on right now, it's going to be horrible. If we do permanent fast time,
of fast and slow time.
Yes. So when you spring forward in the spring, you go to the summertime, where the sun goes down later. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Spring. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're on fast time would be the summer.
Yep.
Or saving time. right now is the standard time. So when you were a kid, this was the time zone we were on. This is it all year long. The sun would be cracking up at like 3 something in the morning in some parts of the continental United States if we did not observe daylight saving time. You can't fix the blanket, Zach, perfectly, but if we have to make a choice, I want the daylight at the end of the day.
I do too, for sure. I like it. I like sun. I'm a morning person, so I kind of like that.
Just think about how nice it is to roll into a campground. If you had an extra hour of daylight, you're on fast time all the time in November, you could have had an extra 2 or 3 weekends of not parking your camper in the dark in the fall. That alone is enough for me.
That's a good selling point.
That alone is enough for me. Same thing in the spring. It's like the weekends that you finally feel like you want to start going out again in March are exactly the weekends where we get onto daylight saving time now. Like the miserable part of the year is when we're on the wrong time. That's like your attitude is just worse in winter.
I have a bad attitude all year.
Saying it doesn't change much.
I'm consistent.
I know we talked about it before. I just can't stand how dark it is all the time at like 4 o'clock.
I have a friend that is he's at a conference in Chicago right now. They're an hour behind us.
Yep.
So he said that he's like, it's nearly dark at 4:30.
Yeah.
And he said it's pitch dark at 5 p.m. I was like, that is horrible.
Terrible.
Yeah. That's depressing. Like 4 kids are like,
It's good for Christmas lights though, you know? You could go out and look at Christmas lights before dinner.
You just
you can look
got
at Christmas lights on the school bus on your way home.
Just if it's a cloudy day, you can look at them at lunch.
Well, kids.
The Courier Times, sign of the times, I guess. Now only printing twice a week.
How many times?
Back in my day, they were 6 days a week. They had a weekender edition.
Yeah.
And it was Monday to Friday. And then they cut it down. They've cut it down, and it's now dwindled down to 2. You're going to get 2 versions.
Yeah.
And then the online stuff.
Somebody posted, people were complaining. I said, this is what all you people get who keep sharing their articles for free.
It's the news. I'm entitled to it.
Facebook. And it's like, the news is free. It should be available to everybody. Well, somebody has to write it. Somebody has to pay for the person to write it. And they share a lot of stuff on their page for free. But if you don't want to pay for it, and now that they even made a decision a couple months ago that made no sense to me. It was like my subscription stopped working, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I talked to Travis, friend of the show. He's like, yeah, you got to sign up through this thing now, and it got cheaper. It's $6.50 a month for the electronic edition. Yeah,
I pay $9.99 a month.
I did.
Still.
And it went away, and now I get charged $6.50.
Interesting.
And you know what? I don't get to read it that often. But I figure
I just read it when I'm driving.
I read their stuff online.
As you
and
should.
if it's behind the paywall, I'm like, oh, I've got to log in to get behind the paywall. But I do consider like it's my contribution to like keep that entity going.
Absolutely,
we need it.
It is one of the long principles of the show is we support all local media, and if you want it to exist, you need to subscribe to it. This show, Patreon, the Middletown News, if you like the Capital Chronicle for the statewide stuff, Abdul's cheat sheet, all of the folks that are gathering the news for you, throw them some bucks, help them out, or else they won't exist. And then you won't have anything. You won't have the great stories like what we have coming up next. A funeral home in Ohio is going to be the first funeral home in the state to have alcohol. They're going to get an alcohol permit.
It's hilarious.
This could
I didn't
only
even
go wrong.
look up why the dude wants to do this.
Evergreen Funeral Cremation and Reception is going to open next year. They applied for a liquor license so that they could offer liquor during services. The guy is Mark. If you're a patron, you got these you're in the special Facebook group and you got this. The man looks like he's 26 years old.
Oh, that's like my first thought. Is like this kid is.
He's the funeral director, and he looks like he's mid-20. He looks like he's been at Ohio State, and is like, you know what we need to do?
Like he just got out.
I'm gonna buy myself into a funeral program, and we're gonna have a party.
Yeah, he knows this is crazy.
How long? Like, what's the over and the under before they're having shots with the ashes of the decedent in the shots.
It won't take long.
Yeah. Days? Is it like the over and under is like days?
The guy's name is Hunter Triplett. Hunter. My role in this position is to kind of be the party planner for the dead. Be more of a celebration of life than the more of the multi-day traditional services, which costs a lot of money. Triplett wants to shed the business's reputation of being dark and morbid by offering manageable prices. There we go. And the option for mourners to raise a toast to a loved one with an open bar. Ohio Liquor Control's website says that they applied for a D3 license, which includes beer, wine, and hard liquor. So you could do tequila shots.
Shots.
It allows you to make a more personalized service. And they say that they are the largest full-service funeral home in Central Ohio.
It's like, man, I hope they have Tito's.
This is the inspector calling. They have all my brands. It's great. They have.
I wonder if he's going to cater to the people like to do like the celebration of life things that you see a bit more of now as opposed to just the funerals. But yeah, I just somebody's ashes are going to end up in a shot glass so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they wanted to or not. It'd be somebody like me. It'd be like a teetotaler like me dies. Next thing I know, he's going to be a shot. We're going to get him in some alcohol.
The inspector called me and said, "Is this Evergreen Funeral Home?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they were like, "You'd be the first funeral home to have this." It was the family bought it in 2015. And the building was once the Maramore Chocolate Factory, which may have been a strip club, Mark. I don't know. The normal funeral costs $10,000. But these guys offer one for $5,000 or $6,000, so they're half the price,
and they got beer
and an open bar. So you guys are skeptical.
I'm not opposed to it. I can't.
It's going to have to be very diligent serving to keep it from getting ugly.
I was at probably the weirdest wedding I ever attended was in a funeral home, east side of Indianapolis, over on East Washington Street. There's like a life center. That one side is a funeral home. I think it's all a funeral home, but then they also don't always have funerals there. So they will also give you the space that you can use for weddings or receptions or whatever. And they allowed you, because it was a reception hall, they allowed you to bring in a bar. But their rules were that you had to have a police officer there, like standing by the bar. Worst wedding ever.
Yeah.
In a funeral home with a bar.
So
with a bar.
The officer just
with the officer standing there to make sure that nobody drinks too much or has any fun at all. In uniform. Just standing by the bar.
Just eyeballing you the whole time.
Yeah. Just mean mugging you.
I don't want to go.
Do you have a breathalyzer?
I don't know. Listen,
that could also go south real quick too.
Nobody got out of hand because the vibe was null.
Yeah, just killed.
Funeral home, cop, bar. Because
even like
cash bar. I was the DJ. They were like, they didn't get a DJ. It was, hey, can you just, like play some music for us on our speaker, aux cord it for us and release tables? I guess.
This could be an awkward question, but what was the floor situation? Like, what was the flooring? Do you remember?
I believe it's a carpet, and then they had a dance floor in the middle, like a small dance floor.
Because the first thing I'm thinking when I think of funeral homes is, one, the furniture is not particularly welcoming to sit on. It's usually like those kind of weird couches and love seats and stuff. But then always it's like super plush carpet because I think it keeps the sound down.
Yeah, it's like the red. Super plush or dark green,
which is the opposite flooring you want for a party.
Yeah,
where stuff gets spilled.
You want to spill your Tito's and vodka, or Tito's and soda? Vodka, yes. My Tito's and my vodka,
and then the carpet would, like I said, quiet it down. Like it would make it more subdued. It would make it a more subdued environment than already.
You got the funeral director, who's now the wedding coordinator,
just changes his tie,
who's wearing the ill-fitting suit,
loosens the tie up. He's good to go.
Was one of these.
That's not two venues that need to mix. I think I've heard of that happening in other places, but yeah, I think you have to put some work into like flipping it over.
It made national news.
I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not.
I think it's fine, But I'm like, listen, my wedding, people were drinking it. The bar accidentally opened because we didn't give specific instructions. So my wedding was outside my brother's backyard. We had a bar. People were bored, so they went to the bar, got served, and they went and sat and had a drink during the wedding. I could see that happening at my funeral too. I guess I don't care.
Some people,
it's a celebration of life, Zach.
For some people, it will work very well. For others, it could go very wrong. Same thing with weddings. You get open bar weddings. And
Yeah, you don't want to be the only one drinking there.
If you got the right or wrong kind of crew at an open bar wedding, I've seen weddings where it's just open beer and wine, and things got a little dicey.
I feel like a Catholic funeral would be the one that you really the open bar. just pints of beer. Everybody have a pint for Joe. National news. Earlier this week, I had paid no attention, had no recollection of it. The news on Tuesday was, hey, Congress is going to avert a shutdown. We're going to get through until Trump is in office. All is well. They've got an omnibus bill, yada, yada, yada. It's fine. Elon Musk sends out 70 tweets to the point where he put that got him to get Donald Trump to get upset, who then gets the Speaker of the House upset. And they say, the hell with this. We're not going forward with our plan. We've rescinded our plan. We're going to shut the government down. Cool. Before Christmas.
Because it was something like, what I read was that Trump demanded that whatever resolution they passed needs to involve raising the debt ceiling.
So
that was a wrench that they didn't expect. It was confusing.
The debt ceiling is set to be a problem, I think, in January again. And now Trump just wants to get rid of the debt ceiling completely. He's like, yeah, this is stupid. Why would we want to
hold ourselves back?
Why would we want to hold ourselves accountable? I'm in charge now. I can trust me.
We want the checkbook. We just don't want the ledger anymore. We don't need a ledger. Somebody else will deal with that.
So the margin is like, I don't know, 3. I think there were 3 Republicans is the margin. So they're just going to shut it down, and we're going to go into Christmas without a government. You'll still get your mail late, but the federal government's going to be shut down. Hope you didn't want to go to the national parks or something over Christmas break. We sat front, should have told you Mount Rushmore's closed.
Somebody does.
Going to turn the lights to the monument off. It's not even the part that's crazy is that it hasn't. The Senate says, yeah, you own this now, House of Representatives, and the president will probably sign anything because he's got like 20 days left in office, 26 days.
I mean,
he doesn't care. It's literally just the Republicans with knives out against each other.
Just scribble pardon across the top of it, I think, and Crane
sign it
because he's signed a lot of things.
Mark, you've lived through some government shutdowns. Do you remember any part of your life being affected by them in any way?
I don't think so.
So you're going to be okay if this shuts down.
I'm going to live.
How long? What do you think would actually get you to give a damn or care? Because I'm numb to it. We've lived through so many government shutdowns that I'm like, yeah, whatever. This is.
I really don't know.
This is theater for these people.
I don't pay any bit of attention to what the president does at all. I couldn't tell you what they do at all. To be fair, I'm so uninvolved and so uninterested in all of it. I think it just brings out the worst in everybody. So when I hear government shutdown, I'm like, I still have to get up and go to work in the morning or in the afternoon for me. But yeah, like I don't know when I would have to start giving a damn. I really don't.
Zach, as a person who dabbles in government life during his day job, do they send out emails? Do they warn people? A lot of people are just like in programs that don't get affected.
We're one of them. Although our federal counterparts are affected usually, but we if we didn't after I got off work today, I would not be shocked if I in the morning have an email that says, "Oh, by the way, if the government shuts down, you still have to show up to work."
Will they still pay you?
Yeah, we've never even been, man, knock on wood, we've never even been furloughed. Like that's not a thing. Our federal counterparts do, but because of
when they get furloughed, it's just like free time off because they end up getting paid for back pay.
They get paid eventually, but if it were to go long enough, they would start missing paychecks. But yeah, they have, to my knowledge, they've always been given the back pay. But For people to know, I work in a state office that's federally funded. We administer a federal program. And so for some reason, because of the way that works, we've just been told we are not affected by it. So we'll continue to work. I actually, man, if they shut the Fed side down for a little bit, maybe it could slow down some of our work. We could get a little caught up on everything. And we've got big backlogs and stuff. So it would probably get ugly for some dealing with the federal side of the agency I deal with, because it's a group that delves out a lot of money to people on a monthly basis for their social well-being, and they would probably not like it. So I don't know. It doesn't affect my office at all.
It's going to be really interesting to see with the Doge committee and Elon Musk. I believe that it might have been Thomas Massey had floated the idea of Musk just being the Speaker of the House next year, because you don't have to be a member of Congress. After Congress had the nightmare scenario last year, where they determined that just anybody could be the Speaker of the House. You didn't have, because they couldn't find one. You don't have to be a member of Congress. Maybe Musk would be the guy, which would be just pure comedy gold.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how kind of unhinged he is, and how he's very big. And this is why I know from him, from the automotive.
He would rename Congress as X.
From the
X House.
From the automotive side. He's very good about coming up with ideas. How that idea will be executed is not his problem. So he's very big. We'll just do this. Well, how are you going to do it? Not his problem. He hires people to do that. And sometimes it works out. SpaceX. If you want to see some comedic gold, look up how Cybertrucks are doing this winter. It's not great. And there's some quality control issues with stuff with Teslas and stuff. So some of that stuff, he said he's an idea guy, but he needs, he's kind of a Bill Gates, Steve Jobs guy. He needs a Steve Ballmer. He needs somebody to put it into realistic pictures. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure if Vivek Ramaswamy is that guy. But we'll see.
Stay tuned.
The SNL bits. SNL and those guys, all the night shows with, man, they would lose their minds over an Elon Musk Speaker of the House situation.
All right, Mark, I'm not going to make you suffer through any more national news. We're here to talk about sports, goddammit, just to make you happy. Great. It's after 8. You can say any word you want to. Christmas news. Michigan has a local school, Oakland State, and they play Michigan State every year around this time of the year. The head coach at Oakland State is this guy named Greg Knapp. Tom Izzo is the legendary head coach of Michigan State basketball. Greg bought matching sweaters for them as they had their game against each other. Oakland State and in Michigan State, the coaches both wore ugly Grinch sweaters. They coached the whole damn game in it together.
Good for them.
Against each other.
It's a game. They
had fun. Michigan State won as expected by about 20 points. And they had a press con. The Knapp sat down and joined the press conference at the end of the night with Izzo, and they talked and joked about their team and what happened and cut it up and gave each other hell and had some fun.
And then Oakland cashed a big fat check of their side of the tickets.
And Oakland said, you know what, this is fun. The boys made money.
Cost a lot of money to put money in that Mercedes Benz that we got over there. But
Michigan State basketball is phenomenal. Yeah. Michigan State's a really good team. Like once out of every 3 or 4 years, they make the Final Four. In Oakland, the guy's been there for like 20 some years, and they know their role. But it was great. It was just a couple guys being dudes, as the SI Sports Illustrated story said. But yeah, the visual of these two 60, 65-year-old men coaching in like lime green Grinch shirts, fantastic. It just made me happy. It brought a smile to my eye.
It's a game. It should be fun.
Especially
if it's like friendly semi-local teams. They're just playing each other because like, hey, we're near each other, and we sell enough tickets to this game. Oakland, like I said, probably gets a nice little check for was it at Michigan State?
I think it might have even been in Detroit. Like it was. I think it was maybe like one of those where they played it at the Pistons Arena,
neutral site.
A neutral site in town. You know, bring everybody out. Fan bases come have fun. But it matters. It counts towards they're both Division I schools, but not the end of the world.
Yeah.
All right.
'Tis the season.
So, Mark, you're a big football guy now. We've noted that
Sure
you
am.
go to
Did
more.
you just road trip to go see the go see the Chiefs over the
Drove
weekend?
all the way up to Cleveland.
You went to Cleveland, and you're a big Chiefs fan. You're wearing purple today, like you're a Vikings fan now.
To let people know. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Or Northwestern. You had Northwestern colors.
I mean, like I said, I've came around. I don't know much of anything about it besides how commercialized all of it really is, which kind of drives me nuts. Which is kind of cool that those guys wore the Grinch sweaters instead of just decked out in their team and taking everything so seriously.
What do you think Bill Belichick's gonna like with their rivalry? If they play like NC State in football, you think they'd have like matching Grinch hoodies for a game?
Oh, he would
Halloween,
He's got the facial
a big
expression.
orange pumpkin at Halloween or something with a rival school, just matching sweaters.
I mean, it's just enough to have him put sleeves on. So I don't know.
Columbus
You gotta
Day,
give
they
that much more
both
than that.
dress like.
How funny would it be if you wore a Grinch outfit or some outfit though, and cut the sleeves off, like had this, or the sleeves
That'd
were
be
like
funny.
cut like half, like mid forearm or something.
That's what those guys should have done.
I'm looking forward to the man choosing his style for college football.
And
See
maybe
what he'd probably be suit and tie.
his girlfriend will dress him.
No comment. All right, Mark. You last year you went out to Arrowhead, Gee Field at Arrowhead or whatever that is, GHEA Field, Jihad Field, and this time you got swindled into a game on Lake Erie.
I did.
In Cleveland. Tell me. I've never been up to Cleveland for a football game. Tell me what the experience was like. You were wearing your Patrick Mahomes shirt.
No, I was wearing a bunch of red, actually. I did go in support of my girlfriend, Kinsey, because she's a super Chiefs fan. She was completely decked out and head to toe and all of that. So that was
she's pre-Swifty era, or is this because of Taylor Swift?
Oh no, she's not a Swiftie.
All right.
She's not a Swift.
I'm just making it out there for everybody.
But people assume that, like when you're there, and it's kind of funny to watch, and I just let it unfold in front of me, and I don't say a word. But no, I had a red Marlboro jacket on,
Perfect.
and it has.
Everybody thinks you're an IU fan.
Yeah, it has a little bit of yellow on it, so I did it out of spite. But yeah, it's I don't like the attention of all of that at the opposing team.
Everybody
in the
shitting on
parking
you.
lot. And Cleveland is not pretty.
Cleveland's
I'll say
known
it's-
for being tough on the opposing fans, especially before
Oh
the game.
yeah, I really almost like for a slight second thought we were gonna have to throw down in the parking lot with a bunch of drunk losing Browns fans.
I've done it.
But they're the bunch of kids anyway. So
I've done it twice where I've been the opposing fan at an
Mhm.
NFL game. I've been a Colts fan in Nashville, and those people were just puppy dogs. They were totally fine,
really
easy, no big deal. And then I went to Buffalo, and they were
That's
assholes.
different. Yeah.
Buffalo was my brother had hot dogs thrown at him.
Oh yeah, we didn't.
it was-
Luckily we didn't have any of that. I mean, we got a couple comments. That was about it. But in the stadium and in the seats, we were surrounded pretty much by mostly Chiefs fans. I mean, there was Browns fans, sure, but no one had any real problems besides the people right behind us who were too drunk to stand up, and then they fell over and got kicked out, and that was it. There was no real problem.
So once you watch somebody get kicked out,
Yeah,
did they get drug out of there?
He didn't get drug out, but he was standing literally just right behind me and just kept falling forward. His hat fell, his phone fell. I had to pick up his hat and phone multiple times, and then finally he actually fell down. They just took all 4 or 5 of them out.
So the security people just finally stepped in and did it.
They did their job quickly. They were not there maybe 20 minutes. All that happened. It's good because I do not want to deal with that guy. Browns fans.
How was the weather? Like this
It
outdoor
sucked.
football. You go to Indianapolis and it's air conditioned at 70 degrees.
I say it sucked, but it didn't suck as bad as I anticipated because I was expecting it to rain the entire day, and we stopped at a Target along the way, and every poncho is gone. Luckily, there was a different style of poncho, and the nice gentleman helped us out, picked them out for us, and
You didn't go like the Gordon Fisherman in a
No.
in a yellow suit.
No, none of that. But they did have like the whole outdoor rain pants and everything. I was like, I'm not spending $50 on us to do this. I was like, I'm just gonna sit here and be miserable.
I bet Zach has the full rain gear set up.
It'd be great
in the camper.
I understand why you'd use it, but
I do, but I don't know if I've ever used it. Yeah, I have a rain suit somewhere. Yeah, I just suffer.
yeah, it really didn't even rain. Like it did.
Did you have any
briefly.
roof over you in that building?
We had just like seriously, the people right in front of us were getting hit much more, and we were getting just like a little bit of drizzle.
You just get a little overhead over you.
But I mean, we wore the coat and the snow pants and everything. It was comfy. It was fine. But I think it'd be way cooler if it was snowing instead of rain and all of that. Like
so,
in Kansas City, it was
Patrick
a little bit of
Mahomes
snow.
was the story of the day because in the fourth quarter he got hurt.
What was soft ankles came out?
What was the vibe like in the stadium of like him exiting the game?
We left during the fourth quarter.
You didn't even see it.
No. I remember him hurting his ankle. I believe his ankle got hurt. That was at the top of the first quarter or fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I don't know. We cut out pretty much shortly after that because we didn't.
You had the long drive back and didn't want to get stuck in traffic.
Yep, 4 hours.
I would give you shit, but honestly, I have the same. I subscribe to the ale theory. Always leave early for an NFL game. I'm there with you.
It took us forever to park there. The way they have everything shut down, we don't know where to go. We're not local. Once we finally decided to park, we realized, oh, this is literally like 25 minutes away walking. It's like, well, this ain't going to work. So to reroute, go the way we came back in on the other side of the interstate, I guess, right off of Lake Erie. And that parking lot is haggard. Like it, let alone the fans, the rambunctious fans and all that.
How much does it cost to park at a game? $50?
I think we paid 40.
Yeah.
I think it's 40. But I mean, we were as close as we were really going to get. So it was fun.
They're trying to build a new stadium
over there.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So the team,
this whole time I was thinking, I'm like, why is this not practical? Like it's so not, I don't understand it. It's like, we know this is how big these games are and how big of a crowd they can, even though I guess they're a losing team.
They are.
I think I've always known that, and I don't know much about football, but I'm like,
and they made the playoffs.
Why is
year.
it always like in the worst spot? Like,
so
why? Like,
it's downtown.
I know it's got built around
by the lake. It's got all the stuff around it. So that's where theoretically they should be, right?
I guess until you go to shut it down, and then no one can get in and out, and then God forbid you work down there, and you're
supposed
not
to take the
affiliated with
train,
game.
man. There's public transit.
No.
Park and ride, baby. It's supposed to take the train and get off right there.
I don't know. I still don't understand it.
So they are.
It was actually a lot easier in Kansas City.
Yeah, because it's two parking. Kansas City is set up so the baseball stadium and the football stadium are next to each other, and they share a parking lot, and they never have a game at the same time. And it's in the middle of freaking nowhere.
Getting out
on
of that kind of
I-70.
sucks too, though.
Yeah, because they're probably one way in and way out.
Mm-hmm.
So Cleveland is set. The lake is in the way, right? You're right on the lake.
Yeah,
so
you
you
got
can only
one
go one
side.
direction
Into the city.
and then there's a river and there's train tracks and all the stuff that's there. They are trying to move to the suburbs. So the Browns. Do you know anything about the Browns' history?
I have not a clue.
So they were one of the original NFL teams.
Okay.
And then in 1995, the Cleveland Browns moved to Baltimore and became the Baltimore Ravens. So the team left and went away, and then for 3 seasons the Browns existed on paper. They kept the uniform, they kept the name, they kept the likeness, but there was no team, the Cleveland Browns.
So when did they come back?
So in 1999 they built that stadium. So the Colts moved from Baltimore to 84. And then in 95, for the 96 season, the Baltimore Ravens were replacing the Baltimore Colts. So basically, for 12 years, Baltimore had no football because the Colts had moved. And then the Browns that exist today are an expansion franchise, and they got a brand new stadium in 1999. So that stadium was built in 99, and now here it is 25 years later, and they want to move away from the brand new stadium out to the suburbs, and they're having a pissing match over, you can't move the team again. We just got this team.
I'm just trying to process all this. So you said the Baltimore Colts?
The Colts were in Baltimore.
Right.
And
when was that?
1984.
Okay.
So 1983
and
season.
you said 90, what, not?
1996.
Okay.
The Ravens, the Browns played in Cleveland in 95. In 96, they became the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure the Colts have been around like forever. Like, not 1999. I'm
right.
like, what? What do you?
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So the Baltimore Colts became the Indianapolis Colts. The Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens. And then the team that you know now as the Cleveland Browns are an expansion team that came back into existence in 1999.
The more you know.
That's it. Yep. But yeah, there was this huge fight over the stadium because the city of Cleveland owned the stadium, didn't want to build a new one. Art Modell was the team owner, and he said, the hell with this, we're moving. And then the state of Ohio put in a clause that says that if any team tries to leave the state, we will take you. Like, we will just, you cannot do it. We own you now. You can't move out of a city. Now they're trying to use the eminent domain or whatever the hell it is that they passed to say that you can't move the city out of Cleveland to the suburbs because you belong in Cleveland. So now there's another huge fight between the ownership group of the Cleveland Browns and the state of Ohio, or the city of Cleveland.
This is all because they want to build a new stadium?
Because they want to move out of the city. Think about it, though. Like, you built a brand new, you built all of the stuff that feeds the parking lots, the hotels, the bars, all of that stuff that's around there on the lake. What the hell are you going to do with that stadium? The NFL team moves out. Now you've got $1 billion stadium that's useless, that has no tenant, right next to an abandoned IndyCar track. The Burke Lakefront Airport.
Have they done anything to that?
It's still an airport. It's always getting ready to get shut down.
Yeah.
Now it actually theoretically may end up being the site of the new stadium. There's a competing deal.
Cleveland?
So the Browns could move. Yeah. There's an airport right next to the Browns Stadium.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yes.
During the game.
That's Burke Lakefront Airport. It was an IndyCar race there back in the 90s. And now the competing proposal is, if we're not going to renovate the stadium, we'll build a new one right there. But the team's not in favor of it. They want to move to Arlington Heights or whatever it is. So, yeah. The same exact thing's happening in Chicago. Chicago's wanting to move off the lake and into the suburbs as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be curious to see how many teams are left that actually the stadium physically exists in the city, which has started, isn't in the suburbs. Because some of the teams are 20, 30 minutes out of the city that they represent.
It's like cyclical, right? The Ravens are downtown. Detroit's downtown. Indianapolis is downtown. Cincinnati is downtown. But the Lions were up in the suburbs, and then they moved back down. So it's flavor of the day, man.
I think it works for like Indianapolis. It's a smart thing because then you can, especially with post COVID, when a lot of downtowns are kind of suffering because there's, in theory, not as many business people working downtown, to have a walkable sports venue that you can support your downtown and then go wander over to a game is awesome. So, especially in the winter.
Army Navy was last weekend. That was the regular scheduled college football game. After those are over, the NFL rules say that anybody can play. You can play anytime, because they were like Fridays until Thanksgiving. You couldn't play on a Friday. You couldn't play on a Saturday if there were college football games going on. But the federal government rules that regulate that stuff say that starting this week, you can play games whenever. So this Saturday, there are 2 NFL games scheduled. The two teams, there are 4 teams playing on Saturday, and they are the exact same teams that are playing on Christmas Day. So they're going to play each other. It's like the Chiefs, the Steelers, I think the Ravens, and the Texans, those 4 teams. And they're all going to play each other between Saturday.
They're going to play again on Wednesday?
Yes. So the reason they did it, or the reason they're doing it this time, because you got to have Christmas Day football, Zach. There's a major Netflix show for it. But they don't want to play. They often play Sunday to Thursday, right? There's Thursday night football right now as we're talking. The Broncos and the Chargers are playing. They'll go on 4 days rest, but they don't like to go on 3 days rest. So the teams that are playing on Christmas Wednesday are playing on Saturday, and they're playing different teams. So what this has created is the ultimate conflict of games up against each other in ratings, because the college football playoff that everybody's been built up to and has more excitement than we've ever seen for college football also is this weekend.
That's Saturday, right?
So Friday is the IU Notre Dame game. And then Saturday, there's like a noon, 4 o'clock, and 8 o'clock game. And then the NFL games are like in between them. So you have 6 marquee football games happening on Saturday.
Is there overlap between the college and the NFL games?
Oh, yes. Significant.
Uh-huh.
On at the exact same moments.
I know them cheering for rich people to be rich, like whatever, but man, it would be kind of hilarious if the college games pulled higher ratings than the NFL games.
So that's the big question, is who wins the ratings battle, right? I think the first two games
next week.
First two games are going to be on TNT, the first two college games, and then the last one is like 8:00 on ESPN.
So they're on cable.
Yeah, so they're on.
I mean, if anybody could unseat the NFL in a head-to-head ratings showdown, that would be kind of staggering. Because they're kind of the undisputed king of TV. They're like,
so it's like
in a given year, it's like 85 of the 100 highest rated programs are NFL games.
It's the college football playoffs,
yeah. So it's
versus generic NFL games, but it's the Chiefs, right? Like it's the Kansas City.
it's a game
Chiefs.
you're going
It's
to
as big
literally
as you're
get to
gonna
watch a rematch of.
Well, it won't be a rematch, but they're playing different teams,
they're just
right?
Swapping the two.
Exactly. It's the same four franchises are going to play. They ultimately get two national TV games out of it, right? So you get to watch the Chiefs play, or the Ravens play, or the Steelers, or the Texans play, both on Saturday and on Christmas Day.
I think I saw something about Mahomes complaining about playing
11 games in 3 days,
or three games in 11
yeah,
days.
sure. That's even better.
Yeah, just 11
Suck
games
it up,
in 3 days.
buddy. What are you
Suck
doing
up.
playing baseball?
You got 90 minutes, doubleheader. We're coming back. Just like I can
Put some ice packs on those ankles, pussy.
I'm not even worried about like a guy like Mahomes. Like
Soft ankle.
he's the guy complaining. I can only imagine. I bet if you're like a lineman or like a linebacker, I bet it takes you a couple days to bounce back from like hitting people or getting hit.
Guarantee
But I'm not really worried about Mahomes kind of guy. But yeah, some of those other guys that are getting hit the whole game kind of suck.
Is Netflix also doing this?
So Christmas Day, the two games are on Netflix.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like it's obvious that it's just not going to load. Kind of like everything.
That's the
Tyson
Jake Paul,
fight.
Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
right?
Like I think I realized that. Or when I first heard that, I just kind of laughed. I'm like, I don't know. I'm still.
I
Drinking
joked that it will get brought down because all the people watching the NFL. It'll get brought down because all the people trying to stream the Yule log on their Netflix, like the kids in the background, and that'll be what brings. Because I bet there are people that open up gifts and they might not have a bunch of family stuff, and they might sit and watch, the Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. So they have other stuff that people might be watching that might be straining their streaming bill.
Last week we discussed this, but yeah, they've Netflix went all out. They've got Nate Bargatze, Nate Burleson, Drew Brees, Noah and I Eagle, a father and son team, calling the games. Bert Kreischer, will he have a shirt on? That's got to be a bet right there. We don't know, but yeah, Netflix has.
What is this?
These are all of the people that are
Netflix
covering the
hired for
NFL
their
game
broadcast,
for
yeah.
Netflix for the two games.
Bert
Kreischer.
Why?
Because you gotta
Man on the street, man.
you gotta
So
you
who are
gotta
the-
have a story.
Who are the teams? Where are the games on Christmas Day? Because Bert shirtless. In
I
the
believe
crowd.
they're
Yeah,
gonna
he's
have-
going to be shirtless.
Yeah,
Of course
so
he's
the Chiefs are
shirtless.
playing in Pittsburgh at 1:00 on Christmas Day, and the Ravens will be inside in Houston.
No, I'm sending you. Send
Bert to Pittsburgh.
You send Bert to Pittsburgh. 110%. You send Bert, and then yeah,
And then this Saturday, the games we get the Texans at the Chiefs, and the Steelers at the Ravens are the big matchups there. So you're going to catch those on which TV? Who do you think has those? Fox. Fox has the Steelers and Ravens. And drumroll, please. That's a really big game. Texans Chiefs, also two more division champions, because the Colts absolutely shit the bed this last week. I don't even want to talk about that. That'll be a CBS game. Oh my God, Jonathan Taylor is an embarrassment to football. Did you hear what he did?
Nope.
You don't know.
Don't know who
He
he
had a
is.
touchdown, the game-winning touchdown. He was running with it. He ran a 40-yard run, untouched, gets to the goal line, flips the ball out of his hand. It goes through the end zone.
drops it on
Just
the one.
dropped it, and it went through the end
Just let
zone.
go.
Untouched.
Untouched. Just celebrating.
Like starting to celebrate.
Celebrating too damn
The
early.
classic.
That's
Like,
awesome.
you've seen it in movies because it's so like of a scripted thing. Yeah, there's a picture of him, and he's like, I think his one foot's not crossed the end zone yet.
and it
his
cost the
other foot's-
game.
So the Colts were gonna go up 20-6, I believe. And instead, They gave the ball to Denver, and Denver wound up winning like 30-13. It was a complete and total game momentum changer. I'm playing it now for Mark. Taylor went completely untouched, runs to the end zone, 5 end zone. He had dropped it just before, fumbled the ball all the way through. He's celebrating, and upon review, they took the points off the board and gave the ball on the 30-yard line to the Denver Broncos. Not only do you just lose the ball, you gave it to the other team. It was unbelievable.
If that was a college or a high school game, the coach would have come unglued to a level that probably would have had to have been held back.
And the Colts successfully had a play where they had a wide receiver throw an interception that was returned for a touchdown as well. It was the most ugly mistake, stupid ass mistakes that your team could make.
It's hilarious.
They deserve to lose that game, and that ended their season.
There should be I know they get bonuses for doing things in contracts. There should be penalties, and Jonathan Taylor should have to give money back to the Colts for that. He should owe them $500,000 for that.
I say that the Colts season's over. It's not, I guess technically. They have 3 games left. They've got the Titans this weekend. The Titans, the New York Giants, and then the Jaguars. If they win all of those games, and then they catch 2 losses from the Los Angeles Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, formerly the Los Angeles Chargers. If they lose 2 of their final 3 games, then the Colts would be back in. Right now, Denver's up 7-0, so then they would need, I think, the Raiders or the Patriots to do them a solid and beat the Chargers, and then the Colts theoretically could be in. So it's not over, but if you play the percentages, it's down to a 5% chance.
The threat,
they don't freaking deserve to win.
Yeah, and everything that I know about the NFL is either from discussions on the show or from listening to Curry and Schultz is that they're in this vicious circle of ending up in the middle of the league kind of thing, where they'll get mediocre draft pick that they can't really improve with, and then they'll have a mediocre, and they're going
to win 8 games, lose 9, and be 15.
And they'll just be stuck in the middle of the draft, not getting good picks.
The Indiana Pacers
perpetually, So that's the fear. Is if you're good, you can be good. If you're going to be bad, be bad, so you can at least get a draft pick.
I want a poll around the room. So we've kind of talked about it on this show. Zach, there's 5 football games on Saturday. Are you watching any of them? Do you get multiple screens out? How does the Burcham household even plan for this or deal with it?
We don't watch any football.
You're going to watch none of it at all and have no clue. It makes no effect on you.
No.
Mark, you guys going to watch the Chiefs game in your house, I assume?
As long as the connection works. If not, then I'm sure.
Well, it won't be a problem this weekend. It'll be Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Christmas Day it'll be a problem. I think they're just on CBS this Saturday.
Well, this Saturday I am working, so I might.
So it's not your problem. Maybe it's on
the tail end of something.
Yeah,
maybe not. But you said so. Christmas Day is the Netflix one.
Christmas Day is Netflix.
So if that's available, I'm sure it'll be on. But if it doesn't work, then Kinsey will be on her phone or whatever, and I'm not going out of my way to watch it.
I think they hired all those damn people just to watch it on mute anyway. Or people are going to be watching the Yule log or Christmas movies, and nobody's going to pay that much attention. It's hilarious
if it gets crippled, not by people watching the game, but Netflix is just overloaded by people just streaming because
streaming Hallmark Christmas movies.
Or it's a background. It's just background.
It's just running.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get overrun like they did for the Tyson thing.
I think you can just buy more TVs. TVs are cheap. YouTube TV, you can have as many streams as you want. I think you just throw them on. We have 2 TVs in our living room just for these occasions. Sometimes we drag out 3. So we can just pop them on, and they're all background noise anyway. It's we have a home sports bar set up essentially in our living room is what we do. Whether we're watching it or not. Because I'll watch Butler get their asses kicked in basketball in the background. Get YouTube on one screen, and whatever sports thing is interesting at that night, it'll be on that. It's just background TV like your sports bar. Speaking of sports, Zach, the IndyCar's Bad Penny has resurrected himself again and come back to us. Hundkos Hollinger Racing has signed the driver for their final seat. They had Stingray Robb a few weeks ago. We talked about that. And now Indiana's own Connor Daly.
Yeah.
Back in IndyCar full-time again. He's now driven full-time for AJ Foyt Racing, for Dale Coyne Racing, for Ed Carpenter Racing. He's been a sub for Meyer Shank, Harlan,
Penske, and Chip
Ganassi, Hollinger. Andretti Autosport, Andretti Global, I guess. And now he's got a full-time job driving 2 American boys driving for the Argentinian team.
Yeah. 2 very different guys. I guess I've heard he's backtracked a little bit on how he would talk about Stingray, but yeah, good for him. He just refuses to go away.
I was unaware because since Joey Molinaro quit the podcast,
I stopped listening to that podcast.
I haven't been listening to Speed Street, but my wonderful bride has been listening, so I don't have to. And
take that's a big one for the team right there.
And apparently, all of last year, the running joke was that Stingray didn't race; he circulated. He circulated around the track.
I've been watching the sport long enough to know when there's people that like genuinely don't deserve to be in a car, and he doesn't seem to be. He doesn't cause problems. He doesn't wreck people, and he's not a half a lap behind, like 2 laps into a race. So I think he does fine.
He's competent.
He was a runner-up NXT driver, wasn't he?
He won. I think he won races in NXT. Yeah. He was very competent in the Indy 500. He's fine, and I think the
Indy 500.
Yeah, he led like a quarter of the race.
Yeah,
last year. He's not an embarrassment as a driver. He's fine.
I've gotten a hot lap with him, and it was fun.
It's the first time I think that Connor Daly has been the lead driver on his team.
Oh yeah.
If you look back, I don't think he's ever been like the top guy. He's unequivocally the top driver now, and he's got more mileage. He had one podium last year. I think he finished third at Milwaukee, and essentially that was the first one that team had ever had. They fell in love with him. And he's trying to get sponsorship. The Indy Star had a great article where
they describe how Polka Dot even works.
He's working with Polka Dot, which is a system where crypto bros have their own democracy. And Connor and his people put together a proposal and said, for $1 million or $2 million last year, you do the Indy 500 and some NASCAR races. And they said sure, and the whole community votes yes or no. I think they asked for like $8 million this year for him to go NASCAR racing in the Indy 500, and the Polka Dot committee said absolutely not. 90-10, they said no, and now he's got another proposal in front of them to try to fund a portion of this. It's like 6 races from Polka Dot for a few $1 million, and they're waiting on the votes. But regardless of that,
sign the contract.
Bunko said yes, let's do it. So whether that money comes through or not, they're moving forward.
Yeah, good for him. He hustles.
Another American in IndyCar, an all-American team. And Stingray and his family brought a big check from Jesus and pray.com. That's probably paying.
Sponsor. Mark's like, what? He's a sponsor for a chunk
pray.com.
A chunk of the season last year was pray.com. Yeah.
And a veterinarian hospital in Colorado.
It's called pray.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Look it up. You can pray right there on your phone. Last thing I wanted to.
Sounds hilarious.
The last thing I wanted to talk about tonight with you guys. It's Christmas week. Rituals, things you guys have to do, things you're gonna do, like Christmas movies. What's the vibe? It's on a Wednesday, so my Christmas spirit. I'm not the most like Christmassy guy. I put a red sweater on tonight.
I almost put the sweater on. I brought it. It's in my car, but I was like, I'm not changing.
You want to run out there and get it real quick for the last segment?
I sure don't.
Pretty excited. Mark said he came. I'm in like the rattiest clothes. I'm remote today. I didn't care.
Zach almost came through my phone hugging me when I said Mark's coming.
So I was like, thank God. I don't want to be on the air. We're on the camera. There's a slew of movies I roam through every year. I've gotten Home Alone in. My kids like Christmas Chronicles 1 and 2. I try to watch the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen. I'm a fan of those. I will watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation at some point. That's probably my favorite. I'll knock that out. And then Christmas Eve, a bunch of the guys in my family all go to the Ice House, which is Zach's one trip to a bar each year.
It's not true. It's not true.
What's the other time I go to a bar? Consistently.
Yeah, now 2 years in a row, we've gone to Working Man's Friend. Yeah. On our other Christmas.
Yeah, that doesn't, to me, like I sit down at a table and they bring me food there. It feels less like a bar. I mean,
what's different about it? You don't drink. Do you sit at the bar at the Ice House?
No.
So what's different?
Table. They don't bring me food. I have to go up to the bar to order it. And I have to go, I'll tell you what, I have to shower after I'm done at the Ice House because I am just reeking cigarette smoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different vibe there. Because I was technically at a bar over the weekend. I ate at Bongi's Tavern. That's always a holiday thing that I do with some friends. And that's technically a bar because Now, I think it's because there's not a table in the restaurant that's more than 10 feet from the bar, but I don't console it's a bar, it's a restaurant. I had good food there. Working Man's Friend has a menu that's not written in dry erase board. So I don't know.
Today's special.
Not written.
Fried octopus
45
and-
different colors.
Yeah, it's just like, so yeah, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then, no, they were just kind of the normal chaos of the Christmas stuff. But yeah, I like to watch, I love Christmas movies though.
We had assigned you the task of watching the
I
greatest
watched Planes,
Thanksgiving
Trains,
movie.
and Automobiles.
How was your experience?
It's
Was
good.
it overhyped?
No, it's not overhyped. It very much feels like, even though the plot is very different, Tommy Boy remind me a lot of Tommy Boy because they're destroying a car on the way. So that's what reminded me of Tommy Boy. I was not prepared for the and it's for anybody that's my age, it's every actor that's in the movies from the 90s. So the secretary from Ferris Bueller's Day Off
is the rental clerk.
Yes.
She drops an F-bomb, I believe. Edie
drops.
Well, he goes, that's the worst you've ever seen at Steve Martin ever.
Yeah.
I
so
hope
I'd
you saw
never
the
seen-
non-cable version. You saw the real.
Oh, yeah, I watched it streaming. So I had never seen, like, my exposure to Steve Martin was like Father of the Bride. And this scene at the rental desk.
It's like Clark Griswold
Is-
at the end of
but
Christmas
more.
Vacation.
Because
You're fucked.
It's like 5 to 7 F-bombs in 15 seconds. And I'm just like, oh, I'm glad I watched this after my kids went to bed. Yeah, it's a good movie. And it reminded me, like, it ties in a bunch of stuff because it's John Candy, which felt like Home Alone and the whole polka band thing.
Polka.
Yeah, polka. So, yeah, I'd never seen that, but it was good. And somebody mentioned another movie that was actually Thanksgiving that I had not seen. Yeah, it was good. It's and like the people you see in it, like I said, it's like the 90s actors and actors.
So another Home Alone guy. It's John Hughes, right? John Hughes is responsible for that movie. But the guy, you remember when Kevin McAllister's mom is trying to get plane tickets and trying to trade something. And the lady's going to trade the dangly earrings.
Yeah.
So she's got lots of earrings, the dangly ones. He's the dude sitting next to them on the plane when he's taking his socks off on the airplane. He's the other passenger. That's the same man. The same old man. Yes.
Yeah.
The Chicago casting of a John Hughes movie is always the same spots, same places.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I like Adam Sandler. You watch his movies, and it's always like the same 5 or 6 guys are in all of them, and it's kind of funny to see like, well, how is he going to pull Rob Schneider in this or whatever? Or Steve Buscemi pops up in a lot of them. So yeah, it was good. I did watch that. Yeah, that on Thanksgiving weekend. I can't remember like what day it was specifically. Okay, I watched this because once Thanksgiving's over, I turned my Christmas lights on that night and I was ready to go.
There's not that many Thanksgiving movies. That one's you have to do it.
Yeah.
I did watch, I think we were sitting in a hotel and Home Alone 2 came on. And I don't remember if I talked about this on the show or not, but that movie is alarmingly violent. I like looking back at it now as a 40-year-old guy compared to an 11-year-old kid watching it, it is horrific.
My youngest son won't watch Home Alone 1 because he says it's too violent. He's very sensitive to that kind of stuff. He doesn't like movies that I don't like it. It's because it's sad. I'm like, well, I explained to him that's how the plot of a movie works. There's like some kind of rough thing because there has to be a resolution at the end. But I watched a movie once, or a little like a YouTube video or something about Home Alone 2, and they would have died many, many times isolating different, like just the brick scene at the beginning.
Yeah.
He's
Just
chucking
throwing
bricks
bricks
off
at his
a
head.
3-story brownstone.
The guy gets hit by a cast iron pipe like 4 times.
Yeah. It's like, they're like, any of these incidents would have killed him.
Falling from like 6 stories up off of a kerosene soaked rope. I mean, it is landing in a car. It is a have you seen this film? Do you remember this?
I'm getting
2?
like loose
Because 2 is like,
popping in
1
my
is
head with
homemade
it. It's
stuff.
been
2
odd
is
for years.
a home under construction in New York City.
Yeah.
So there is debris.
It's a job site.
There's materials. Yes.
I think they fall through the floor like 5 levels. I mean, it is brutal. Like it is like, it's a cartoon, but with people.
Yeah.
Marv like turned into a skeleton getting electrocuted at one point.
Yes.
Is that 2?
In 2, yes. Yeah, it's as bad as it got.
2 just, it's like cartoon. It kind of goes like off the handles, kind of like Fast and Furious did as a franchise. Like 1 though, I love 1. It's classic, and his theme songs. It's a John
Plus they get
Williams
mauled by
score.
pigeons.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good.
Ron Milford's in the chat. Christmas Story, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation, and maybe Elf. Yeah, Elf's great.
I just like Elf.
The Bob Newhart is one of my all-time
Bob
favorites.
Newhart's good.
I loved Bob. It's our first Christmas in my lifetime without Bob Newhart.
Yeah, I know that
the dad.
He was, no, that was James Caan, but he was the head elf.
He's Elf Dad.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The old man.
Yeah. I know I've probably said I hate A Christmas Story. I love the leg lamp.
I don't like
that's hilarious. But like I've told people,
it
why
doesn't
how
do
does
it for me? It doesn't.
So I want a Christmas movie. Where's it going to set? Gary. When? Kind of like around the Depression, it seems. Sounds great.
1947. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a not great time. It's very not quite film noir, but kind of film noir kind of vibe to it. It's depressing at times, and it's Gary. Not interested. It's just weird. I'm not a fan of it.
My favorite sleeper movie is always Mixed Nuts, which is another Steve Martin movie.
I haven't seen that.
And it's dark. It's a dark comedy. Got Gary Shandling in it. Picture this: Los Angeles, 1990, a failing suicide hotline. That's what they run. A failing suicide hotline.
This is a comedy.
This is a dark comedy.
This sounds hilarious.
The implications of the phrase "failing suicide hotline," because that only means one thing: there are people dying.
Oof.
Adam Sandler.
Cool.
I think it's Adam Sandler's very first movie he was ever in. He's young, like dumb Adam Sandler, playing his music and all that shit. It is not an A-list Hollywood movie by any means, but it is a dark comedy that I will sit down and I appreciate it.
I watch Jingle All the Way sometimes. That's the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dan DeVito movie.
I tried to watch is that the one where they're fighting over the toy?
Yes. And there's also, there's
Sinbad. Is Sinbad in that too? Somebody?
Yeah, Sinbad's in that. Yeah.
I tried. I watched like 15 minutes of that and I gave up this year.
There's also another one that I mixed up that actually I think is better, and I can't think of what it's called, and it's Danny DeVito again and Matthew Broderick, where they're like competing to decorate their house for Christmas or something like that. And
Christmas with the Cranks is a sleeper one for me.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it. It's not an all. I have to watch it, but it will be on. The other, I had it and lost it. God damn it, Mark! Why am I losing my mind?
I don't know, but Tim Allen's probably in it.
Deck the Halls is the other one, and that's
Four Christmases. Do you get Vince Vaughn and all them?
I've never seen that one.
You never saw that movie? That one's solid. John Favreau's in it. Four Christmases is entertaining, but it's not the greatest Christmas movie of all time. The one that I've never seen, and I tried to, and this is my like streaming frustration this year, is that I just wanted to see the Muppet Christmas movie, like the one with
Disney Plus though.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm like, all right, let me just try to watch this thing, and I go to YouTube TV. I'm like, nope, not on there anywhere. I'm like, God damn it! It's not on HBO. It is exclusive.
If it's on Disney Plus,
it's
Disney's
exclusive
got
to Disney
locked
Plus,
down,
and nobody else has it. And I'm like, I was gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna sign up for another day. Check episode 373. I'm not signing up for another service just to watch one stupid movie. I'd rather go buy the damn thing for $14 on Amazon and have a digital copy forever than to. It's frustrating.
There's like 3 or 4 Muppets.
Yeah,
because that's Michael Caine.
Yeah, I know. I do appreciate Muppet stuff. Like I'm not a cartoon guy, but I do like Muppets.
We're all kind of impacted by our childhood. My go-to, I probably mentioned this on the show. Growing up, Christmas starts. Whether it be the record player, the cassette player, or eventually the CD player, same album. Muppets John Denver Christmas album I still play it. It still gets played all the time. It's in my playlist. I found it on like YouTube Music, and it's in the playlist with a bunch of other Christmas playlists. I have one I've been keeping it going. It's on my phone. You listen to headphones, or I stream it to the Google Display in my kitchen when I'm doing dishes or whatever. I've just been rolling this Christmas list for like the entire month. But yeah, I listen to the Muppets Christmas album with John Denver all the time. There's a song where he sings to me. It talks about little Zachary. It's not to me, actually, but yeah, it's fun.
I want you to go to Twitter right now and sign up for the Zachary Tinkle giveaway.
Okay. I looked at that. It was hilarious. And I almost want to do it just so I can tweet back. But what about the fact that the shirt is my name? No, my name's not Zachary, and my name is in fact Zachary, and it's even spelled the same.
I think you need to try to enter. If I win it, I'm getting it for you. The T-shirt will be in your size.
There's too much Menards on it, though. I hate it. But yeah, I was like, I can't imagine.
There's a NASCAR driver named Zachary Tinkle.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's like the opposite.
Couldn't be Dick Trickle. He's Zachary
I was going to
Tinkle.
say, but it's like real close. It's just on the. For some reason, it didn't quite cross the line.
Not flowing hard. Anybody wanting Christmas themed tattoos this year, Mark? How do you ring in the Christmas season?
I tried with Friday the 13th was it last Friday already?
Yeah.
I tried to do like a Christmas themed flash sheet, but I tried to do it in a way that wasn't like the stupid, skull and crossbones Friday the 13th 1-3 over on its forehead. But I only got 2 bites out of it. Only 2 people out of 13 that I'd done the time before that. But I get it. I mean, it was a little more flavorful than, just little line drawings, but I tried to do some Christmas themed stuff, but I enjoyed drawing it, but it's hard for people to commit to doing that. But I did get to do a Jason Voorhees mask with a Santa hat on it. I was like, that's fitting. But yeah. It was a dude with like no tattoos, which is crazy. That's a tattoo you put like between other tattoos, or someone that's actually heavily tattooed.
Maybe he's just into Jason.
Yeah.
Eggnog? Will you do eggnog? Like as a drink?
No. I'll try it. I think I've maybe tried it once when I was a lot younger, but I was like, no. I'll always try something, but no. It sounds terrible.
I never had the juice stuff that's like alcoholic, but I like eggnog.
I would try
it though, because this is the kind of stuff where I drink it and like I can chug it.
I'm not seeking it out.
Chug eggnog, you'll regret it later.
There's a YouTube channel called How to Drink. I know. And Greg is the host. And he has an eggnog recipe on there that I've made a few times, and it's very good. But it's a single serving, like with the booze and everything, and it's got the real raw egg white in it, and you shake it up, and it's legit. And I like that. But that's a Christmassy drink that I can appreciate. But my palate has grown since I was 9 and would get the half quart eggnog that you could just pour in. That stuff was always too thick. I would even the store bought stuff. I would still have to add milk to it. It was too thick.
Terrible.
Too thick.
I don't know. I don't really want to know everything that's in it because I probably wouldn't like it. But like I'll drink it. I drink the store bought straight. Yeah. I don't ever buy it because nobody else in my family will drink it, but my mom will buy it. So
it's like drinking thick water. It's too.
It's thick. Oh my god! It's like
it doesn't pour well.
Yeah,
it's like throw up.
It's like it's a step beyond a milk. It's just like a step beyond a milkshake. Yeah,
you gotta thin it down.
It sounds so terrible.
No Christmas drinks.
We just do mimosas in the morning and then continue
and then do each other's nails.
Yeah, go get pedicures. Oh yeah.
It's fantastic. It sounds like you guys have a delightful Christmas morning, honestly.
Christmas morning is pretty tight. Breakfast and mimosas, and then followed by more drinks.
This is once again, the Wednesday. I'm in protest of the Wednesday. I have to work Monday. I think we're working like 4 hours on Monday, and then we're going to go out to an office lunch and then just vanish from there. Christmas Eve, my mother wants us for most of the day but it's such a weird thing. Some people work Christmas Eve, some people don't, and then we've got somebody in the family that work Christmas Day, so it's just like bouncing around. You can never be the right place at the right time.
Oh no, there's 15 different things going on.
Yeah, and
the same like
everybody wants a piece of you, and you don't know where to go. And then we always have like 3 different things we try to go to on Christmas Eve. I hang out with Zach's family at the end of the night, usually, or try to. And I think we're going to make it to that this year, late into the Christmas Eve evening. So yeah, who knows? But looking forward to it. It's always fun. It's a balance though, because the working world, like trying to get things done during the day job, is like I'm taking off. I've got no time taking off, but the rest of the world feels like they're trying to shut down or just not do anything. So I have, I'm off like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then I think we are we don't even have New Year's Eve off, like as far as the holidays go.
Yeah,
So I'm literally down for like 2 days.
We just get New Year's Day, and then we get 2 days off for Christmas. It's this with Christmas in its current location, that is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
If Christmas were a Thursday,
You'd get a 4-day weekend.
then I would get a 4-day weekend, and I don't have to burn time for Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve is my family's Christmas. That's when we celebrate stuff. So I decided to burn Monday because I was got to drive in the office for a day and bring my stuff back home and be remote Thursday, Friday. I'm thankful I'm remote on Thursday and Friday, so I can at least, because Christmas is an exhausting day, and it's like this weird thing where like people are expected to go to work, but like nobody really wants to work, especially between Christmas and New Year's. I do kind of wish that collectively more places. That's why I'm jealous of factory workers, because a lot of factories
Just shut
down and they do maintenance, and if they need to do like retooling or whatever, they'll do that over the break. And I wish that more places kind of did that and just said, you know what, this is better for everybody, just to like shut down.
As the son of an auto worker, that was the 4th of July. They would be shut down.
No,
like
they
a
do
week during the
summer shut down.
and we could take a family vacation and just go do something for like a week and a half.
Yeah, not have to burn any time off.
And it was amazing. I always loved that. But my strategy has always been I will work the days between Christmas and New Year's or around Thanksgiving. I don't care. I want my time off when it's nice outside. So whatever.
I have enough to have it all.
I agree with you.
I still get
Give me it all.
I still get 5 weeks off, but I whatever. Other people can have that time off. I just don't hassle me when I want to be gone in July or August.
I've taken the whole week off,
or for half of May.
with kids.
May is my Christmas, damn it.
Yeah. I have my spreadsheet. I looked up, so I burned it. I have the time. For me, it was as much just the thought of lugging my computer to work for a day. That's when I wish that my employer, the state, would have just said, "Hey, everybody, we're remote next week.
Just be remote as much as you want to.
Just we're all remote. We're shutting the offices down, except for like the few poor people that have to show up for things to move around, or whatever. But like, just go remote. Just we'll turn the heat down and just not worry about it, and so nobody has to worry about it. You can get more time with your families. You're not driving in a car. So that'd been awesome."
Final thoughts, Zach Burcham?
Speaking of other Zach, I'm going to congratulate graduate person I went to school with, Zach Medford. He's a police officer of the year. Zach is an awesome human being, killer to have great guy to have on the police department. I had some people that commented.
Be careful about throwing the name Killer around.
Killer, yeah, I know. I said that. He's a great guy to have. Like, and he's a goofy dude. Like, he used to work at Kroger, and every time I'd walk in there, we just say Zach to each other as many times as possible in an interaction. But like he's responded to a call with my mom where she just like left her purse, and like she called and like, "I think my purse disappeared," and it turned out she'd done something with it. And he was super polite and super nice to her, and he treats people with respect, and that's nice and handy. So congratulations to him. And then otherwise, just everybody, like, stay safe. I wish we were getting more snow, and have a nice Christmas. Don't get in a fight with your family.
I'm really hoping this is another winter. I don't have to have my driveways plowed.
I was so jealous.
So far, so good.
The region's going to get like 4 inches tomorrow, and I'm like, I want 4 inches. This is the week. Give me the snow this weekend so it can be. Let them plow it for Christmas. I'm not driving around on Christmas, but yeah, I love snow.
Rainy and muddy. That's what we get.
Yeah, that's that's exactly what the forecast is for.
Mark Fultz, you've got the world's largest water bottle. Is that like 64 ounces? Your Zulu? What is that thing?
Zulu water bottle. Got it at Target.
That will not fit in a cup holder, will it? Unless you have
Unless you got a really big cup
well-equipped minivan.
I did break my lid, and now it's leaking, so that's cool. And I've looked on Amazon for a replacement lid of this very specific one, and can't find one. And if you go to the Zulu website, of course, it's like
just have to buy the whole
$10, and then the shipping, and it's like at that point you just buy a new water bottle and throw away your other one and litter. So that's convenient.
Just buy two. Buy a new water bottle and a lid.
Not gonna need it. I just need the lid, guys.
You can carry around 2 gallons. You can just have 2 gallons of water.
Yeah, it drives me nuts because this is the one I really like, and of course it's leaking, so that's cool. But it's my fault. So.
Final thoughts? If I wanted to get myself a flash tattoo, where would I get that?
You would contact me at _tattoo at Instagram, or Mark on Facebook.
Doesn't have to be flash. It can be
Anything. Custom work.
As long as it's something I would be capable of producing. Yes, you can contact me there, and we can set you up into the depending on what it is, really soon or into the new year.
Can I put that on my insurance when my deductible resets? Can I get my medically necessary tattoo in January?
That'd be hilarious. Yeah. You can try. You can try. I'm not gonna make that call for you.
Consult a physician.
Yeah, people do ask me. It's like if I'm on certain medications, like can I do it in this? I'm like,
hell if I know.
No clue. I don't even know what that drug is, ma'am, at all. Talk to your doctor. People do that, and it's kind of crazy.
I'm on all my antidepressants. Could you still stab me?
That probably, yeah.
Well, I genuinely do appreciate you being here tonight. It's always fun.
It was fun. Glad I could make the cut when no one else was beating.
Gotcha. Pulled you off the bench,
last straw,
drug you back in, and we're very thankful.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for my gifts.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I do like the beer. It's good.
Yeah, the Spotted Cow. So it's it's like Leinenkugels was not Leinenkugels. Yingling was here from Pennsylvania, where you just couldn't get it.
Yep.
That's a legendary beer in Wisconsin. They make a lot of them, but that's their top seller is the Spotted Cow.
I know butch people. If they go to Wisconsin, they come back with a supply of that stuff.
A few cases of it. It's a nice, easy drinker.
Yeah,
and I think, honestly, I think that like the can art is also phenomenal. Like the gradient colors on it,
plain and simple,
is really cool. So I like it. Plus, it's got the thumbprint of on it, like your Wisconsin thumb or whatever. Our plan, losing my voice. Our plan is to return for Boxing Day, so we can all talk about what we got for Christmas and what we're returning. I think Boxing Day is for boxing stuff up and sending it away. That or fighting. I don't know. We'll look it up. But we are planning on having a Boxing Day edition of the show on account of sicknesses. I'm hesitant to say who the hell is supposed to be here or not because this time of the year, I lost my voice completely 2 weeks ago after this show. We did the show on a Thursday. On the Friday, my voice was gone.
I think I've done like 3 or 4 people that have come down with COVID, and it's been rough. COVID, not just like I tested positive, but like, they got the flu and it messed them up. It's going around.
I was in a room with 1,000 people today, so I'm sure I'm totally
Stay
fine.
over there.
Yeah.
Great. Glad I made it.
Sorry, Mark.
Glad I made it.
Thanks for coming in. The convention center was full. I was in the middle of it. All right. With that, we say thank you guys very much. We'll catch you next week.